Have you considered the steps that you need to take after you purchase a property in the state of Florida, if you live out of state, in order to make sure you protect your asset? Recently had an owner call me and he wanted me to go take a look at his home, give him an idea of pricing and what he needs to do to the property in order to get it show ready. So he lives out of state. He hasn't been there for the past 6 months. And I head over to the property, open the door, and mold everywhere. I'm talking about on the carpets, on the walls, on the ceilings. It was still dripping from the ceiling. I have no idea how long this has been going on for, but obviously this is a complete shock to the owner, and this happens more often you would think because people that purchase homes that live out of state that don't take some of those steps that we're going to talk about have things like this happen to them. I'm Jay Barabee, and I'm going to share with you 3 tips that are going to definitely help you in your journey to not having these types of things happen to you. The first tip is invest in some inexpensive technology. Nowadays, guys, there's just so much out there that is not very expensive and is going to go a long way, especially if you're out of state. About 5 years ago, when my kids were just babies, we had this camera in their room, and we wouldn't get any notifications unless it detected movement, which is awesome. And that was 5 years ago. Now it's even more updated and less expensive. So if somebody breaks into your home when you're out of state, you'll be able to be notified, pinged, and you know what's going on right away. Now, there's also remote door locks. I have an owner who's in Canada. I was going over to his property the other day. I asked him, how do I access the property? And he said, don't worry, I'll just push a button on my iPhone and I'll let you in. And then there's also thermostats that you can control remotely. We have one in Georgia, and all we need to do is get on there and play around with it and adjust the temperature. But those things are not expensive, but they go such a long way. Now, the second tip is insurance. And insurance is a no-brainer, but then again, most of us, we don't think that we need insurance most of the time until we actually need insurance. So let's get insurance to make sure that you're protected. Now, there's different types in the state of Florida. We're talking about hurricane insurance, flood insurance. If you get a mortgage on the property, you have to have it. But if you don't have a mortgage and you pay cash, then you're not required to have that insurance, but you should obviously still get it. If you have the property rented out, then you're talking about different type of insurance to make sure that you're protected in case there's an issue with the tenant. But insurance is a big thing. There's a lot having to do with that, and you definitely want to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing in that line of work so that you are covered. And then finally, number 3, it's what I like to call friends on the ground. It's always nice to have friends wherever you go. And in this case scenario, it's not just your friends, but it has to do with if you're purchasing in a homeowners association community, obviously you have gated access to the property. You have a much closer watch. If you've experienced anything with homeowner associations or condo associations, you're going to know what I'm talking about there. But you do have friendly eyes on the property if you're in a homeowners association. And then, of course, the second part of that is make sure whether you're in a homeowners association or not, be friendly with your neighbors so that when you are out of town, you have someone who knows when you're away, they have access to your property, and then you have somebody who's keeping eyes on the property. And then, of course, lastly, with your friends on the ground, make sure you have a trusted realtor, property manager, home watch person, whomever that you can trust and is going to be able to respond to you and be communicative with you when you need it. And there you have it. Those are those 3 tips that will help you and save you some headaches. The first one was technology. The second one is your insurance. And then the third one is your friends on the ground. So let's not let what happened to my seller with all of that mold in the home happen to you. Okay. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.